I found this interesting one, birds stonefly. The blog is fly fishing the Sierra, flyfishingthesierra.com, and it's very comprehensive. They have a shop, they have fly swaps, they have hatches and maps and tactics. It's a very well done blog. So I think it's worth checking out. So we'll do some stonefly patterns mainly. Maybe we'll get into some nymphs. But I chose the birds because it has lacquered moose hair. The tail and the antenna are made with lacquered moose hair, which I thought was a really cool touch. So I want to try that. So without further ado, we'll do birds. I'm gonna change it. The wing is squirrel, but I'll try to do a little bit of squirrel in the wing, but I think I'll do CDC, and then I'll try to do more of a spent wing style. So that's the game plan. We'll see what it looks out. So it's not exactly birds stonefly, but we'll try to get there. All right, here we go. Here we have our vise. I'm gonna drop a little bit lower. And we're gonna try to stay more in focus today. Let's do the lacquered moose. So we have two moose options to choose from. We have a moose mane, and then we have moose body. And I'll do the body to begin with. So this is a body hair. Maybe we do the mane. Let's see what the tips of the body look a little bit thin. So let's see what the moose mane looks like. Here's the moose mane. The moose mane also looks pretty thin. Yeah, we'll do the body. Maybe we have to sacrifice those tips. I'm just gonna cut out 5 or 6. We'll lacquer more than we need. Strip out the shorts and the underfur. And then, oh, maybe I could do 2 segments in each. That's an interesting concept. I want the tips relatively even. Yeah, let's try to do that. We'll try to do a couple segments, a couple hairs for each segment. We shall try. All right. Clip, 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 clip. So I'm gonna clip our hairs. I guess we'll have to do this individually. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to lacquer 2 hairs into one, and that'll be each antenna and each tail fiber. Maybe you could even do 3. For the lacquer, I'm just going to use clear finger nail polish. This might not work. This might not work. I think I'm going to have to, oh yeah, they're sticking together. It wants to bead, so I'm trying to get rid of that. Obviously, I don't want them to. Yeah, I'm gonna have to use my fingers to clean it up. So that'll be 1 tail segment. We'll clip that, let it dry, and then we'll get 2 more hairs. We need another tail segment. Whoa, it's beating. Then we'll run our finger. This one, the tips are split, but I think it kind of looks cool, so we're going to try to keep it like that. Clip that, let it dry. And then we need some antenna. Maybe for the antenna we just do singles. And get a little bit of lacquer on there. That's way too much. And just try to coat it. Okay. So these will be our antenna, and the doubles will be the tail. I gotta find a clip for these. Got lacquer all over the fingers. Okay, let those dry. We need an alcohol. These alcohol wipes are handy, left over from the pandemic, but good for cleaning your cell phone and good for cleaning your fingers. Hello, Demi Kagastan, Doohickey 3000. I'm tying some flies. All right, the junk is off my fingers. Let's get a hook. Pretty big one, I think. This is an 8. See what it looks like on an 8, and then maybe we go with a 10. If it's a good looking pattern. All right. So I also like there's orange thread incorporated in this pattern, which I thought was cool. And then the body was made from hackle, trimmed hackle, which again, you don't see a lot of that these days. But instead of orange thread, we could do orange foam. That's an option. Let me think about this. Yeah, maybe we do that. Maybe we try to do a thin strip of orange foam. We'll keep the hackle concept. But I imagine we have to tie in our antenna first, so a little bit tacky. I don't think it's safe enough to tie in. but we're going for it. We'll go for it anyway. Do you exaggerate the length? I think you do. I'm going to tie it in just on each side. One on each side. Here's a double. Okay. One on each side. He traveled under it, which is fine. Trim them out. Let's get a little thin strip of orange. Super thin. Top here. And then we'll do a hackle, a brown hackle. Maybe we double up the hackle. I'm just check and see what it looks like. Because we're going to trim it down. I think ideally you'd want to tie them in tip first. It'll give you a little bit of taper. But because we're going to trim this down, we'll still do tip first. Two hackles is going to be a little bit more difficult to manage, but I think it'll look full, which is what we want, especially if we're going to trim it. Okay. Let's wrap our foam. One wrap behind the hackle, then going in front. From here, I'm gonna put a little drop of super glue on this side of the foam. And I'm hoping that was too much glue, but what I'm hoping is that I'm gonna tug that off. I need to clean up the body a bit. I'm hoping that glue will catch a little bit of the stem as I wrap. Gotta get these together. Wrap the body. Oh, catching too much. I'm catching way too much. Wrap the body. And tie it off. Trim it out. Then we're going to trim this body. little bit buggier than just straight foam. Okay. That looks okay. Okay, so for the wing, here's what I had. This is what I thought I would do. Okay, we'll still use the squirrel tail. If we can find one. Guess we won't use a squirrel tail because we can't find a squirrel tail. Oh, no, that's deer hair. But deer hair might also work. There's gotta be a squirrel tail in here somewhere. Check down below. Well, found a calf tail, and I think this will have to do. Some of the darker calf tail. Bucktail would also work. The darker section of bucktail. Squirrel tail. Okay. So what I was thinking was we use the squirrel tail to split the CDC, but I don't know if I want to use the tips of the tail still coming out over the back. Wasn't quite sure how to do this, but it's going to require kind of a folding, maybe a folding over and then a folding back. That's what I'm thinking. So I'll measure it out like this. And the squirrel tail likes to slip, so we gotta be careful. Then we'll do a wing, CDC wing. Nice natural color would be the best. Those are short. Let's just check these out. These are not great wing feathers. Yeah, let's get a different package. Those would be good mayfly wings, but not caddis stonefly wing. That's also not the right color. Oh, right color. And the right feather. So this feather is a very fat, wide feather, but if I tie it in at the base, the fibers will push. So we'll do 1, 2, 2 on each side, 4 total. And we'll tie 1 on this side. And I'll tie 2 on the other side. That's not a good one. So the one's a little bit darker, but that's okay. Two on this side. And then we'll fold, let's trim out the butts. And then we'll fold it over. Trim out the butts. Oh, we gotta add our antenna too. Can't forget our antenna. So I have 2 on this side, 2 on this side. I'm gonna fold the squirrel over. Trap it. And then bring it back. Let's travel the thread under. And what I'm hoping to do is create kind of a head. But I want the wings wide to give it impression of like trying to fly, take off type situation. And we'll fold that squirrel tail. Do we need a hackle? I think we do. Let's get a brown hackle going. No, that squirrel tail's not doing it for me. We're going to still use it to split, but we're not going to incorporate the tips. I should have used a different material, like a polypropylene yarn would have been better. Because after we add the hackle, it's going to be way too busy. Okay. I'll tie in the hackle. Wrap the hackle. That's good. Trim it out. We have our antenna. We want these kind of up, but still poking out the side. It's super long. And about right there. I'll get the other one. And to match the length. That's good. And then we want to finish underneath the antenna. Let's whip it. Imagine those antennae are going to come off pretty soon. That whip finish breaking like that is not good. So we're going to have to do something about that. Just put a little drop of glue underneath. Let's place the antenna back. My wing length was not uniform, so one wing is slightly longer than the other. However, you could trim out these hackles if you wanted to. The silhouette is pretty spot on, for, like similar to other stonefly patterns you would see. It's got the CDC, gives it kind of a fluttering look. This will definitely work. The question marks are the lacquered moose mane tail and antenna. How long are those necessary? The old timers swear by them. But if you think about other patterns don't include tail or antenna. So that's just my take on the bird stonefly. not really a bird stonefly, but that was it. All right, let's choose another pattern. That's what bird stone looks like. Mine is not. Maybe I just took the antenna and the tail. But that's all you can do sometimes. Let's check out this other. I was interested in this Parawolf as well. Maybe we do that one. Caddisflies, tons of caddisflies, stoneflies, Bill's squala stone, bird stone, chubby Chernobyl. This is a good list. Okay, will that focus in? So we did birds, or we attempted to do birds. Some yellow sallies would be good. Madam X, we have a lot. Rogue foam stone stimulator. Let's check out these yellow sallies. Ride, Sally, ride. This is an awesome. Ooh, not liking the look of that. But polypropylene wing, foam head, hair tail. They have an egg sac. That's a picture of the yellow Sally. God, that focus is horrible. And we're gonna skip Ride, Sally, ride. Not my style. Let's check out Clark's little yellow Sally. Better. So, hair wing, yarn body with a hackle. And that's the adult, that's what they're imitating. Yeah, I like it. We'll do a variation of Clark's little yellow stonefly. I'm thinking CDC for the body though, instead of the polypropylene. So CDC for the body, deer hair wing with the hackle. hackle looks like a gray dun. They call it. They say it's ginger saddle. A ginger saddle. But in my experience, the yellow sallies are slimmer, slimmer than, always surprisingly slim. That's what I should say. Surprisingly slim patterns. Let's give it a go. I need to change my thread up. Chartreuse thread. This is a kind of golden olive thread. We'll use this. Does your yellow Sally need a red egg sac? I don't know. I'm inclined to skip it. Skip the yellow egg sac. This color, this thread would be a decent body color, but it's certainly not thick enough. But maybe, like, this is a pale yellow dubbing. Maybe we just do pale yellow dubbing. Yeah. Let's try this. Ooh, here's a technique. Okay. So I like the color of the thread. I'm gonna rib it. So I'm gonna make a loop. And then I'm gonna go around the loop a couple times. Lock it in. Then I'm gonna put my loop to the side, and I'll use that loop to rib the body, and then we'll do this pale yellow dubbing, which is not wrapping very well because I have that fingernail polish residue still on my fingers. But this is a dubbing rope. We'll dub and rope. Then we'll dub the body, go behind once, and then in front. I'm catching the tip of that hook. That's not the prettiest dubbed body. Okay. We got our loop. I want to spin the loop a bit. Kind of cord it up. Do it with your fingers. Then I'm gonna rip the body with this thread. Those wraps were too close together. rotary and get wider spaced perhaps. It's not. Not as good as I thought it would be. Maybe floss would have been better. Okay, hair. The bleached elk would be a nice choice. Here's more of a brown deer hair. Here's a natural elk. Not bad, but ooh, perfect. I don't know what kind of deer hair this is, but this is the right color. A little bit darker than the bleached elk. Nice and straight. So we'll get a clump of this. I usually do more than I need. Then we'll clean out the shorts and the under fur. Hit it with the dirty toothbrush. And then we'll have to stack it. Most people will use a hair stacker, but I just use a little tube. Get the tips even. There's still some trash in there. Tips are even. We need to measure our wing. About there would be good. I'm gonna trim off the butts just to make it more manageable when we tie in. Cord up my thread a little bit, and then we want the wing sitting on top. So we're gonna hold it in place so it doesn't spin. Then wrap into the butts and let it go. Oh, that's a lot. I'll trim it out. Clean this up. Clean up the sides. You could just stop right here and that would be plenty to catch a fish. But you wouldn't catch the fisherman. The floss body or the thread rib is actually growing on me. It's looking pretty good now. Take a few more off the top here. That's good. Good wing. Hackle. I don't have a ginger hackle, but I've got a dun colored hackle, which I think will work. Yeah, it's a good length. We'll cut in a tie-in point. Tie in our hackle. Then we'll do slim dubbing rope. Very slim. Maybe the problem was the body was too thick. Yeah, that could have been the problem with our body. Thin dubbing rope. One wrap behind the hackle. Actually, more than one wrap. So we want the dubbing to lay the hair flat. So I'm holding the hair and then I'm gently coming over, and that the dubbing wraps will keep that, will manage the hair. And then we will wrap our hackle, which is slightly oversized, but okay for this kind of pattern. This would be one you're fishing in faster water. Stoneflies in general, you want to fish in faster water, riffles and things like that, near the bank, undercuts. And that's good. Tie that off. Okay. Just checking out that wing to see if we need to do anything else to it. It looks okay. Let's whip it. I think Yellow Sally is like a summer, I believe, summertime pattern. It might be a good idea to have multiples of these for me. Let's whip up another quickie. We'll skip the thread rib for this one. And we'll do the CDC feather, the original plan. Okay. It's pretty bright yellow. Maybe more of like a mustardy. This color is called PMD. I'm thinking this might be a better color. That's a pretty nice color. I'm gonna draw the feather till I get to the tip, and we'll wrap it up. Advance the thread about there. Hackle pliers would be nice. And wrap our feather. After each wrap, spin a couple times, once actually, but sometimes you need to do more. And spin, and spin, and spin. Don't work too fast. And spin. Spin and spin. Maybe I should have done the brighter yellow come with like a pale yellow wing. I don't know what the right call is there. Let's gather our material and trim. Get rid of the strays on the bottom. And that's a nice body. There's something poking out. Yeah. Good. Hair wing, CDC wing. What are we thinking? Hair wing. Let's not overcomplicate this. Nice bunch of hair. Trim it out. Clean it up. Stack it. Get rid of more trash if you can. Measure. And trim the butts. And tie it in. Clean it up. Clean up the sides. And take a little off the top. That's good. Tie a hackle. Measure the hackle. Tie in point. And dubbing rope. You might need more than that, but behind the hackle, and we'll manage the hair. Come back around. More dubbing. Could do it like a sparkly dubbing here as well. That's always fun. Finish it off. Wrap the hackle. Try it out. And whip it. Ooh, trapped some hackle in that whip. Trapped another one. Yeah, good. All right. Let's take a look at that pair-wolf. See what that pair-wolf's about. Okay, so that's Clark's little yellow stonefly. We call them yellow Sallies, but it's simple like hair wing hackle and then the body material. I don't think it needs an underwing. That's Antron. And yeah, I don't see any reason to put that Antron in. However, their hair wing is sparser, and so maybe could be a good reason. If you wanted to tie a sparse hair wing, you could use Antron to kind of fill it out. But he had a headlight Sally. What is this? Ooh, that's a good one. Extended body. I don't have yellow chenille, but that would be pretty easy to do. Yellow chenille, red marker. Antron, white Antron for the wing, but this plastic bit here, I don't know if that's necessary. And then a parachute hackle. That's cool. Cool pattern. Madam X Rogue Foam. Let's check out the Rogue Foam. Another extended body. Bullet-shaped head. That's interesting, actually. I like it. I don't know if I'm gonna do that much extended. Yeah, let's do one of these. Rogue Foam. Rogue Foam. Rogue Foam Stone. Foam Stone. Get us a hook. Yellow foam. I'm gonna do tan on mine. Or yeah, I think orange would be good too. Get our foam. They have 3 mil foam. I have 2 mil and 4 mil. I do not have 3 mil. This could be interesting. This could be real interesting. Okay. So we're gonna do the brown and the orange. Yeah, that width is not too bad. Not too bad at all. So we'll cut some brown and orange. I don't know how much we need. Oh, we'll call that good. And how this is going to situate is kind of like this. So we'll glue the brown and orange together. Toothpick. Glue the brown and orange together. Careful, careful. Okay, not perfect, but good enough. And then we need one segmentation hanging. So I'm going to use, I guess I'll use this thread. I'm gonna half it and I want one segmentation hanging off. Maybe this is more of like a hopper. I want to try to get it pretty close to the end. And I'm wrapping it as tight as I can. Oh no, I want the orange on the inside. I want the brown on the outside. I want the orange on the inside. So flip that. Then I'm going to start my wrap as close to the end as I can get. Right there's good. That's okay. That's okay, that's okay. So it's on there pretty good. And then we get a little bit of brown, a little bit of orange on the body, which is cool. Now to finish this, we can whip. We can finger whip or we can glue. I think a combination of the two is appropriate. So we'll give it a finger whip. Careful, careful, careful. And we'll trim off that tag. And then we'll trim this guy. And get a little bit of glue on a toothpick. And then we'll try to hit the top and the bottom. All right, now let's start our thread on our hook. get our body. And it'd be nice if the segments were even as you can get it. A stronger thread might be necessary. I don't know why I'm using such weak thread, but that looks okay. And then you're going to want to travel the thread inside the foam. So move it in a couple wraps. And then you're also going to want to lock each segment. A little bit of glue. And then just try to paint the inside of each segment. This will prevent spin. Yeah. Hopefully our segments are same length. That one's a little thin. There we go. Tight as you can get it without breaking your thread. Open her up, travel the thread, and then a little bit of glue inside. Little bit of glue inside. Close it up again. Another segment. Tight as you can get it. Okay. Travel the thread. I think this will be our last segment. Maybe, yeah, you might want to stop it sooner rather than later, because this is going to have a bullet head. And maybe we make the last segment up here. The body could have been thinner, a little bit juicy. And then we will trim it off. Now I see why they do this as an extended body. So it's kind of hanging off. Anyway, not the end of the world. Let me look at the picture. Wing, got to start building this wing. Synthetic under natural, it seems like the way to go. Then we build the bullet head, and then we add the legs. Okay. We'll use this polypropylene for our synthetic under. A little taper in the body would have been nice, but I can't get can't have everything. Let's start picking this apart here. I'm just trying to separate the fibers best we can. Flip it, get the other side. Let's get our wing situated. I'm going to go heavier with the synthetic, lighter with the natural. That's the plan here. Trim it out slightly longer than the body. We'll do this elk for the hair section. Clean up the shorts. A lot of shorts in there. Poor quality. I'm not too worried about stacking, but I'm just gonna eyeball stack these tips. Okay. Same length as the body. Tie that in over top. My thread just cut through the hair. Maybe we skip this step then. Or use a thicker hair. Or use a thicker thread. The thread's too thin. Or it's not the right type. This is like a uni, I don't know what kind of, Danville maybe, but it's round. Let me think about this. No, we'll try again. A little bit less hollow hair. A little denser hair. It doesn't flow that well, but it will be more difficult to cut with the thread because we're not changing threads. Eyeball the wing. That's okay. Loose wrap to begin, getting slightly tighter, and good. All right, let's trim that off. This would be a good hopper dropper pattern. Okay, wing as well. Distributed. That's not enough space for a head. we gotta travel our thread further up. If the head was that small, it would look real dumb. So we gotta get more real estate for the head. But that's popping our wing up, which I guess is fine. Okay. Different color hair for the head would be nice. It's a little bit darker. Let me try this stuff. And we want to stack this one. Clean it up. Stack it up. Oh, almost too long for my tube. And the bullet heads are tricky because you have to measure. So we're gonna tie the hair in this way, and then you have to visualize folding it back, and then how much of a collar you want. So I'd think about there is good. The collar would be pretty long if we do it that length. I'm gonna transfer the material in my other hand, transfer it again, and then trim out the butts. Then I'm gonna transfer it again and travel my thread down. Oh, I'm getting nervous. Maybe that's a centimeter too long. Let's trim off. Okay. I think shorter would be better than longer in this case. Couple loose wraps toward the eye of the hook. One more loose wrap. And then you want that to spin so you get good coverage. Let's take a look. That looks okay. Let's check the eye. Eye looks okay. It could be tighter to the eye, to be honest, but we'll live with it. Before you clean up the butts, let's kind of lock these hairs in. They're still spinning quite a bit. Travel your thread back up. Then we'll clean up these butts. Doesn't matter too much. But there's a risk they'll poke through that head. Okay. And then we will, let's lock that in a little bit better. Start preening our hair back. Yeah, our collar is way too big. I messed this up. And we trap our hair, tie it it in. Actually, it'll work. Lock it down. Ideally, the hairs are all even and uniform, kind of poking back. This side's a little bit crooked. They're crossing over each other. I'll do rubber legs. Got purple right in front of me, but I don't want to do purple. A light brown would be good. Dark brown, let me see what the dark brown looks like. Dark, no, the body hair is dark. The head, the bullet head is dark. Here's like a coffee, that'll work. Let's get one strip. And then I'm gonna knot the backs. Maybe about there. And knot this one up. About there. So just a knotted leg. Exaggerate the length quite a bit. And then lightly tie it in. Get the other one on. That's good. Lightly tie it in. All right. Let's whip it. I'll do one more whip. It's just a double whip. Cinch it down. Trim out our legs. Tighten our knots. Yeah. You could clean up this underside if you don't like that hair extending. If you wanted to show some more of that body, you could start cleaning up that underside. Or tie a properly shaped head. That would also be good. All right, so we cleaned up the underside. You could do some marker work. Yeah, this is best. I tried to not make it so extended body, but it failed me. This is more of an extended body type pattern. which we could try to do it right now as an extended body type pattern. Alrighty. Let's preview. So this is what we tied. We did some yellow sallies. One has a CDC feather body, hair, wing, and hackle. Good little pattern. The other yellow sally has a dubbed body with a thread rib. Not that cool, but it'll work. And then we mimic the bird stonefly with the lacquered moose mane tail and antenna. But instead of squirrel tail, we threw CDC feathers. We tried to splay them a bit. And then for the body, we did a foam wrapped with a clipped hackle and then an oversized brown hackle. And then we did this rogue foam extended body pattern, but we tried to throw it on a bigger hook and it kind of failed us. But we did a two-tone color scheme, which worked out. I think we have time for one more, but maybe it's better to just, maybe it might be better to cut our losses. I appreciate you guys for watching, and we'll catch you next time.